I would have to say one of the most beautiful tiles out there. Though granite is my favorite, personally, I can't deny that marble is by far the best looking. It is just a gorgeous tile. Now, that being said, you have to be careful where you use it. There are definite applications where marble is not very good to have. If you were to take marble and put it in, say, a front walkway, a year down the road you'll wonder what was on your mind, because when people walk in with their shoes, shoes generally carry in grit and dirt and that kind of thing, and it will just scratch. And I mean, when I say scratch, this tile is basically brand new. I just bought it so that I could show you how the different kinds. And already I have scratches here, big scratches here, and small, and this is just from putting it away and bringing it back out again kind of idea. I haven't done anything with it, I haven't really taken it anywhere, it's just it scratches easy, so you gotta be really careful. Now, it doesn't have a sealer over top of it, so that's another reason why it scratches, but unless you really keep on these kind of tiles and seal it consistently, you can run into problems really quick. So this is more of a higher maintenance tile. The other problem with it, you can go and buy a, say, $3 marble tile, but you won't get, in my mind, $3 worth of quality. It is, you pretty much have to spend $5 or up, like minimum, to get anything worthwhile. I mean, I've heard stories about people trying to cut the lower end marble, and it basically just crumbles. Like, as they're cutting it, it falls apart. It'd be very frustrating to work with, and you know, you'd wonder, what am I doing wrong? You need to spend a lot of money with marble. And with the marble, you can, believe it or not, stain it with water. It's just the nature of it. Water will soak right in, and if left, that's the big key, if you leave the water sitting on it, it'll eventually stain it, and you'll see that water stain. So that's something to consider when you do that. Now, if you wipe it up, you know, no problems. That it's not going to stain instantly. It'll take a while, but you got to watch for that. So durability, you're looking at a pretty good durable tile. Now, with troweling with this, once again, you want to go with a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. The weight and the fact that it's such a flat edge, and you need to really keep them all really level, and that idea, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch trowel. For cutting tools, same idea as your granite. You can use a wet tile saw or the angle grinder. Angle grinder does work good for this, really well with that. Grout spacing, same as your granite, 16th inch, 1/8 inch maximum. Don't shoot for 16th, and sometimes what will happen is some will be a little bit bigger, unless you're really, really good at what you do. The type of grout you want to use is called a non-sanded grout. Now, come to think of it, I haven't told you the fact, the other ones, you want to use a sanded grout. So for your spacing, if your spacing is, say, 3/16 or higher, you want to go with sanded grout. So there's sand mixed in with it, and that gives it that strength. If you're under that size, an 1/8 or under, then you want to go with a non-sanded. Non-sanded is generally used for walls and also used for marble and granite. So something very important to remember. Do not use sanded grout on these tiles. You can scratch them up and it won't work well with grouting that size. Mortar, once again, you want to go with a white because it'll bleed through. It's weird, but when you use a dark mortar, even if this tile is dark, you will see the mortar through it, and it'll change the color, and it can end up looking really bad, especially if you have a lighter color mortar. Now, with marble, another thing is, when you buy it, due to the fact that it's a natural stone, if you were to buy, let's say you had to buy 3 cases of marble, and you bring it home and you start laying tile, what's going to happen is you'll have some tile that's if you bought black, you'll have some tile that's very black, and others that are gray, some that are maybe even have some green in it, some that'll have brown. It's just a total variable. It's like going out and say what size and shape are trees. Well, there's just variable because it's natural. It's a very natural stone. It is just a up and down. So what you want to do is you bring it home and you just hand pick all your tiles. And you say this is the black pile, this is the brown pile, and depending on how you want to do it, maybe you want to alternate them. Maybe you want to take your brown and put them on the outside for a border. You can pretty much, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want with it, but you just be careful and be mindful of that. When you cut either the granite or the marble, you need to use, if you're using a wet tile saw, you need to use a glass cutting blade. Due to the nature of it, I don't understand all the physics behind it, but you don't use a regular blade for these, it's a glass blade. It's just something to remember. If you use the angle grinder, you just cut from the bottom and it works fine without, but that's what you want to do if you're using a wet tile saw.